Hi there, and welcome. This video might just change how you feel in your home. If you've ever looked around and thought, why can't I keep things tidy anymore? Type a 1 below. You're not alone. Let me ask you something that might sound familiar. Have you ever cleaned your kitchen or your bedroom only to find yourself doing the same work again? The very next day? You wipe, you fold, you sort, but somehow it never stays that way. And slowly, that hope for a peaceful home starts to fade. But here's something many seniors have quietly figured out. A clean, calm home doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing things differently, with intention. It's not about the hours you spend or how strong your back feels. It's about building small rituals into your everyday life that gently protect your space before it ever slips into chaos. You don't need more energy. You just need a new approach. That's what this video is all about. I'm going to share with you 12 tiny daily habits that take just minutes, but have a powerful effect on how your home feels and how you feel living in it. So if your home hasn't felt like the sanctuary you deserve, let's gently turn that around, starting today. Because sometimes it's not about cleaning harder. It's about making one small choice, again and again. And that choice begins right where your morning begins. This isn't just about tidying your bed. It's about resetting your relationship with the day ahead. Picture this. You wake up, stretch your legs over the edge of the bed, and the first thing you do, before brushing your teeth, before checking your phone, is pull the blanket up, smooth the edges, and set your pillow neatly in place. It's a small act, yes, but it holds much more weight than you think. Making your bed isn't a task, it's a transition. It's a signal to your brain. I'm done resting, and I'm stepping into the day with purpose. It draws a line between sleep and action, between night and morning, between stillness and movement. And that line, that moment, can define how everything else unfolds. Too often, when we leave the bed unmade, it becomes a visual echo of postponement, a quiet whisper that says, I'll get to things later. But when it's made, even if the rest of the room is imperfect, your space feels intentional, cared for, finished. And that feeling ripples out. What's more, this 2-minute action changes how you treat the rest of your environment. A made bed sets the tone. You're less likely to toss clothes on the floor, to let mail pile up, to shrug off wiping down the counter. You've started your day by completing something, and your brain craves the satisfaction of keeping that momentum going. Psychologists often talk about the power of keystone habits. These are small routines that trigger positive behavior in other areas of life. For many people, making the bed is exactly that. It nudges you toward more order, more presence, more care. You don't have to fold corners like a hotel or get it just right. You just have to do it. Gently, quickly, for yourself. Because when your day begins with a win, even a tiny one, your whole mindset shifts. It's no longer about what you have to do. It's about what you choose to take charge of. And when you start the day by choosing control, staying in control becomes your natural rhythm. There's a quiet trap that sneaks into every home. Not a loud mess, but a slow build-up. It begins with a letter left on the counter, a sweater draped across the back of a chair, the TV remote just left for a second. You walk by it once, then again. And by the end of the week, it's not just a small mess, it's a pattern. Familiar? Here's the shift. Clutter doesn't come from chaos. It comes from hesitation. The difference between a tidy space and one that drains your energy isn't effort, it's timing. That's where the one-touch rule becomes your quiet helper. It's simple, even elegant. Whatever you touch, you finish. If you pick it up, put it away. If you open it, close it. If you carry it, return it. One motion, one moment, and it's done. This habit isn't about being strict. It's about honoring your space while honoring your time. Because every time you delay putting something away, it doesn't disappear. It waits. And what waits multiplies. Not just in objects, but in mental clutter. You see it. You avoid it. And your home stops feeling restful. But something remarkable happens when you stop letting objects linger. Your kitchen counters feel clearer. Your nightstand becomes a calm space, not a parking lot. The stress you didn't know was whispering to you starts to quiet down. The one-touch rule gives you back something precious: momentum. Instead of having to clean up later, you're always gently staying ahead of the mess. It becomes less about tidying and more about moving through your home with grace. And trust me, you don't need to fix every room today. Start with just one area, maybe the mail or your coffee mug. See how it feels to close that loop instantly. Quick challenge. What's one object in your home that's been sitting where it doesn't belong for more than a day? Go move it. Right now. Then tell me in the comments what it was. Because when we stop letting clutter settle, our homes and our minds begin to breathe again. And next, we'll tackle the other thing those surfaces tend to collect: dust. Let's make them shine. There's something strangely calming about wiping a surface clean. The way the cloth glides beneath your hand. The faint scent of vinegar lifting off the counter. The soft sound of motion as the day disappears, little by little. It's not just cleaning, it's grounding. Many seniors with peaceful homes say this is their secret. Not waiting for messes to get bad, but giving their surfaces a little love every single day. Because when you walk into a room and see a clean countertop, a spotless coffee table, or a gleaming sink, it does something quiet but powerful to your mind. It says, this space is cared for. And by extension, so are you. Start with just a damp cloth. Add a splash of diluted vinegar, natural, safe, and lightly fresh. Run it along the edges of the bathroom sink, across the kitchen counter, over the dining table. You're not scrubbing, you're not polishing, you're simply resetting the surfaces that caught your day. Think of what those surfaces carried. A letter from a friend. A slice of toast. Your reading glasses. A quiet moment with a cup of tea. When you clean them, you're not just removing crumbs or smudges, you're making space for what comes next. And here's the part no one tells you. When your home feels fresh, so do you. It's not about how it looks to guests. It's about how it feels to live in. A clean table invites you to sit down. A clear counter invites you to cook or breathe. It lifts a weight you didn't know you were carrying. You don't need to tackle the whole house, just a few small spots, the ones you touch the most. Once in the morning, once in the evening. It's not effort, it's rhythm. Because when your hands bring calm to your home returns it right back. And now that your surfaces are clear, let's see what's been quietly building in the corners. It started with just one envelope, a phone bill I meant to pay later. Then came the prescription refill slip, the charity flyer, a half-finished grocery list, and suddenly my dining table, a place once used for breakfast and crossword puzzles, was buried under a paper mountain I didn't remember building. I told myself I'd get to it soon. But days turned into weeks. And that quiet pile? It became loud, not in noise, but in mental weight. Every glance reminded me of what I hadn't done. Every piece was a whisper. You're behind. It's strange how paper, so light in your hands, can sit so heavily in your mind. That was the moment I knew. If I wanted peace in my home, I had to start with the paper. So I made a change. Not a big one, just 5 minutes a day. I placed a small tray near my entryway. Nothing fancy, just a landing zone. Then I added a second tier, a standing file folder with 3 slots. One for bills, one for reading, one for recycling. Simple, immediate, manageable. And here's the rule. Every single day, I sort as soon as it comes in. Junk mail goes straight to the recycling bin. A utility bill gets clipped and set by the calendar. A letter from a friend? Opened and read with a cup of tea, not a side of guilt. Once a week, I go through the whole tray. If it's still there, it's either getting shredded, scanned, or acted on. Nothing stays long enough to grow roots. And you know what happened? The weight lifted. Not just from the table, but from me. I stopped carrying unfinished business in my head. I stopped avoiding that side of the room. I sat down to dinner without a pile of reminders sharing the table. And it wasn't just about a tidy space. It was about reclaiming mental clarity. Because when we delay decisions, we invite stress. But when we deal with things simply, consistently, kindly, we take back ownership of our environment. This isn't a war against paper. It's a practice of intention, a daily moment of care, a way of saying, I don't need more space, I just need less mental clutter. If you're ready to try it, start small. 1 tray, 3 categories, 5 minutes a day. That's it. You'll be amazed how peaceful your home feels when the paper stops echoing in every corner. And here's a fun thought. What's the one surface in your home that becomes the paper magnet? The kitchen island? That side table by the recliner? Drop it in the comments. Let's find the top contenders together. And now that the inside is clearing up, let's open things up a little more. Fresh air's waiting, and your home is ready to breathe. There's a quiet ritual that's easy to overlook, so small it barely registers. But for many, it's the moment that sets the tone for the entire day. It happens not with effort, but with intention. You reach out and turn the latch. You open the window, not just to let something out, but to let something in. And with that simple gesture, your home begins to breathe. There's a moment of stillness, then a shift. The air stirs. It brushes against your skin, subtle but undeniable. It carries no music, but it changes the atmosphere like a new melody. The sounds of the outside world enter gently. A bird call, distant wind, leaves brushing against one another. You may not even realize it yet, but your shoulders drop, your breath deepens. You're not just airing out a room, you're resetting yourself. Fresh air is more than oxygen. It's movement, it's life. And in a world where windows stay sealed and rooms grow stale from routine, opening your window is an act of renewal. Science agrees. Homes that receive regular fresh air have healthier indoor environments, better respiratory quality, and even lower stress hormone levels. But beyond research, there's experience, and you've felt it. That invisible fog lifting, that little lift in your step, that sense of, yes, today can be good. Especially in homes where we spend so much time, especially as we age, the air grows tired with us. But it doesn't have to. Each morning offers you a chance to change the feeling of your space with one quiet choice. Open the window when the sun rises. Let the gold light stretch across the floor. Let the breeze carry out the tension of yesterday. You don't need incense or music or a meditation app. Just a breath of the world drifting into your own. After cooking a warm meal, crack open the window and let the kitchen find its balance again. After a deep conversation, or a good cry, or a long nap, air the moment out. Let the house hold the new you. This isn't about chores or checklists. This is about energy. About feeling the rhythm of your home shift from stuck to steady. And the beauty is, you don't need perfect weather. Even on cold days, a few minutes of air exchange makes a difference. Even a cracked window offers the gift of motion, of space, of subtle change. Try it tomorrow. Don't make it a task, make it a moment. While your tea steeps, open the window. Watch the curtain move. Close your eyes. Feel how even the smallest gust touches something deeper. Then ask yourself, how did that feel? Leave a comment. Let me know if you noticed the change, not just in the air, but in you. Because sometimes the first step to feeling better is letting the outside world in. And now that your space has freshened its lungs, let's talk about what your feet are walking on every day. The story beneath our shoes is next. There's a moment most of us know all too well. You step out of bed in the morning, feet bare, still groggy from sleep. You shuffle to the kitchen to start the day, and suddenly, your heel hits a crumb. Your toe catches on a dust bunny. You glance down, and somehow overnight, the floor has gathered a quiet army of little annoyances. They didn't shout. They didn't demand. But they're there, quietly disrupting the sense of peace you were hoping for. It doesn't take a mess to make us feel overwhelmed. Sometimes, just a few grains of grit underfoot are enough to nudge us out of the comfort we worked so hard to build. And that's why this habit, perhaps more than any other, is deeply underestimated in its power. Sweeping the floor. Every day. Even just a little. It sounds basic, right? Almost too simple. But think about this. Our floors are the foundation of our living space. They hold us up. They carry the weight of our routines, our movements, our memories, and when they're clean, we feel lighter. Not just physically, but mentally. Let me tell you a little story. There's an older gentleman in my neighborhood, Mr. Grant. In his late 70s, retired, widowed, quiet. But every morning, just after sunrise, he comes out with a small hand broom and a dustpan. He starts with the porch, then the entryway, then inside, room by room. Never in a rush, never distracted. Just slow, deliberate, and present. One day, I asked him about it. Why sweep every day? He smiled and said, "When the floor is clear, I don't stumble, not just with my feet, but with my thoughts." That stuck with me, because it's true, isn't it? A clean floor does more than protect you from slipping. It protects your peace. It's the stage for everything else. Walking, stretching, dancing, kneeling to tie your shoes or play with your grandkids. When it's cluttered, dusty, or dirty, your mind starts to mirror that chaos. But when it's fresh, you move more freely. You feel more at ease. So, how do we make this habit simple, doable, and lasting? Start with tools that remove friction. Place a compact broom or cordless vacuum somewhere accessible, not hidden in a closet behind the mop and ironing board. Keep it in the hallway, near the kitchen, or beside your laundry nook. The easier it is to grab, the more likely you are to use it. Focus only on the high-traffic areas. You don't need to sweep the whole house every day. That's not sustainable or necessary. Target the kitchen floor after meals, the living room if it's where people walk barefoot, the hallway you pass through 20 times a day. These are the zones where dust and debris gather quietly and quickly. Tie it to another routine. Right after breakfast? Perfect. While your tea steeps? Ideal. Before bed as a reset? Even better. The point isn't perfection, it's momentum. 1 or 2 minutes of sweeping every day adds up to a floor that rarely needs deep cleaning. And here's the mindset shift that changes everything. Don't think of sweeping as a chore. Think of it as a moment of reconnection with your home, your body, your breath. It's rhythmic. It's soothing. The sound of the broom bristles against tile, the soft swish of the vacuum. It slows you down, grounds you, brings you back to now. Because when your environment feels calm, your thoughts begin to quiet too. Let's not pretend this is just about dust. This is about dignity. A clean floor gives you confidence in your space. It invites you to move without hesitation. It says, "This is cared for. This is safe. This is mine." For older adults especially, this habit becomes even more powerful. Not only does it reduce fall risk, but it creates a sense of control in a world where many things can start to feel unpredictable. The act of sweeping becomes a declaration. I still shape my environment. I still care for what I call home. So if you've been feeling like things are getting away from you, start here. 1 broom, 1 hallway, 1 minute. That's all it takes to shift the tone of your entire day. And here's a little reminder, if you need it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just passable daily becomes pristine weekly. That's not lowering the bar. That's learning the rhythm of sustainable care. Now, I want to hear from you. Where do you notice crumbs or dust gathering most often? What small space would feel lighter with just a quick sweep each day? Drop it in the comments, and let's swap favorite sweep zones. And here's the habit most people forget, but the one that makes it all feel worth it. Because what's the point of creating a calm, clear home if we never stop to truly enjoy it? Let's step into that next. There's a kind of silence that only exists after care. It's not the silence of emptiness, or boredom, or absence, but a quiet that feels full of presence, full of intention, full of the small, invisible gestures that brought it into being. And in the home you've gently shaped, in the space you've swept and wiped and tended to with quiet hands, that silence is waiting for you. We spend so much time doing, folding, scrubbing, organizing, straightening, and often we move on to the next task before the dust has even settled. But what if the most important habit isn't another chore, but a shift in how we receive the results of our effort? Imagine this. The sun is low in the afternoon sky, and you've just finished tidying your space, not perfectly, but meaningfully. You ease into your favorite chair, the one near the window, with the cushion that remembers your shape. You pour yourself a warm drink, and this time you don't rush to the next list, the next thought, the next thing. You sit, you exhale, you notice. The light dances across a clean floor. The kitchen smells faintly of citrus and soap. The room feels still, but alive. And you feel something stir. Not exhaustion, not urgency, but satisfaction. A deep, quiet knowing that you showed up for yourself today. That this space isn't just clean, it's calm. Not just in order, but in harmony with who you are. So many people treat the home as something to conquer, a place that demands constant control. But maybe, just maybe, your home is trying to offer something back. A moment of refuge. A soft corner of the world that reminds you you're doing enough. You are enough. This is the habit we forget. Not wiping or sweeping or folding, but receiving, feeling, resting, letting the space speak gently to us in return. Because the truth is, your home reflects more than your habits. It reflects your care, your energy, your self-respect. And when you pause, when you allow yourself to sit in the home you've made, even just for 5 quiet minutes, you send a message to your body and spirit that's far more important than any checklist. I am safe here. I am allowed to rest here. I belong in beauty and peace. So take the moment, brew the tea, sit in the sunlight. Let the candle burn a little longer than usual. Put on music that makes you feel warm. And don't do anything. Just be. Your home isn't just a place. It's a quiet love letter from you to yourself. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which one habit will you start today? Leave a comment and share this video with someone who deserves a few more moments of peace at home. Someone who's always giving, always doing, and might just need this gentle reminder to pause. Because home isn't where perfection lives, it's where presence is welcome.